have the distinct pleasure to present this evening's first award to my friend, Julie Mehretu. There are so many ways to describe Julie: artist, visionary, woman, lesbian, mother, and even genius, having won a MacArthur Genius Grant. But words can't do justice to her art and the impact it makes on everyone who views it. Julie has always utilized art as a vehicle for global social change. Her work has appeared in major exhibitions at the Museum of Modern Art, the Guggenheim, Detroit Institute of Arts, Walker Art Museum in Minneapolis, and the Albright Knox Art Gallery in Buffalo. She recently completed a large-scale project for the San Francisco Museum of Modern Art's Evelyn and Walter Haas Jr. Atrium in September 2017. Entitled Howl, Eon 1-2, the paintings are built on the idea of the American West as a site of both great possibility and great destruction. She made her first strokes on the canvases in the days after the 2016 presidential election, as she, as well as all of us, were trying to make sense of where our country was headed. Our friends at Art 21 have graciously provided us a glimpse of Julie at work on this particular piece. Please join me in honoring and welcoming to the stage tonight's Visionary Award honoree, Julie Mehretu.
We are the shadow brothers, the long lost brothers tonight. We are the starlight chasers, the midnight races tonight. We are the last ones standing, the first ones into the light. We are the night, the night.
Thank you. I didn't know we had these fancy. I don't have access to that, so I'm going to read to you from. Thank you so much, Racquel. You and Michelaine are both amazing and generous in your work and commitment to the center, and it's an inspiration to all of us. Also, Glenda, thank you so much for your courageous leadership here and your inventiveness and the visionary programming that you do. This night is so important, especially as we've witnessed blatant misogyny of women publicly, our voices in the current political climate, and how globally women are still some of the most vulnerable populations. This is true within our queer community as well, as much as anywhere else. Trans and cis women are the most vulnerable to suffer from violence, heinous crimes, and discrimination. It is really a great honor to be recognized and celebrated by you tonight. However, as much as success and progress we have as a community or as an individual in our work, my career, in our personal lives, it is important to remember that an attack on one of us is an attack on all of us. Whether it is in this administration and its violent hostility towards the queer community, especially in its efforts to define out of existence, criminalize, and dehumanize our transgender community, or whether it is the recent attacks by the governor Paul Makonda in Dar es Salaam, who told reporters roundups of same-sex couples would begin next week. Through the scrutiny of social media and verbal reports, he was quoted as saying, "Give me their names, my ad hoc team will begin to get their hands on them next Monday." These attacks by President Trump, John Magufuli, and Paul Makonda are an attack on all of us, each and every single one of us. We are living in the midst of a rise of an exacting fascism. It is a highly polarized, dangerous, more and more fractured moment of identity politics. And this is a time when our solidarity is most crucial. I'm reminded of the fierce Wanja Mugungo. Wanja is a queer African feminist and firm believer in human rights and social justice. She's amazing. Her passion and activism lie in the struggle for equality, non-discrimination, and an amplification of voice of marginalized populations, specifically the African LGBTI and sex worker communities. She once said, her work across platforms and the queer community was all-encompassing. For the street that is safe for a queer sister or brother is the street that must be safe for a sex worker. The street that is safe for sex workers is the street that has to be safe for trans men and women. I'm blown away over and over by the radical imagination and new possibilities invented from the younger generations of the trans and queer communities, and I'm especially inspired by the queer movements on the African continent of inclusiveness of community work in the face of state terror. It is such an inspiration and is crucial to understand when they come from me, there will be a we. Thank you again for this honor. I will continue to work and mine for a radical non-identitarian politics of inclusiveness, human rights, and radical imagination. Thank you.